This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus, and just giving my quick first impressions of Star Wars Battlefront. Now, this has been a game that I've been highly anticipating. Being a huge Star Wars fan, growing up on the series, I was alive during the initial Star Wars hype. First time I saw a Star Wars movie, I was 6 years old. It was the first Star Wars, and it was just amazing to me. Flash forward a couple of years ago, and for my 9th birthday, I got to go to the movies. Was it my 8th birthday? I think it was on my 9th birthday. I got to go to the movies and actually see Return of the Jedi, which was ridiculous. It was just such a great day. I always thank my mom for that. My mom has been a huge influence on my sci-fi stuff because she was a huge sci-fi geek. So, she got me definitely into Star Wars, and I love her for that because Star Wars has always been something that I have really, really been a big fan of. Of course, like most people, at least most people that I know that are big Star Wars fans, the prequels weren't they left a lot to be desired. Let's just say that. I mean, they weren't totally horrible. Phantom Menace, I mean, that, yeah. Attack of the Clones, that was actually decent, and Revenge of the Sith was okay. It just, like I was saying to somebody in a conversation before, a lot of what was wrong with the prequels was the dialogue. The dialogue was just god awful. But I always have said that about the original ones too. It's like, if you go back, you really listen to them, George Lucas is not a great dialogue writer. He creates great worlds, but his dialogue, yeah. But anyway, we're going to talk about Battlefront, not the Star Wars movies, because don't get me started on that whole franchise. I will go like on a huge tangent. So it should be noted by now that there were a lot of expectations with Battlefront, especially since it's coming off of a well-regarded series. It's a reboot of a video game series that was well received by the PC crowd, and I believe it was on console. I think it was at least on PS2. I'm not sure if it was on an Xbox platform. But what this game does is that it definitely delivers for Star Wars fans. If you're like looking for something that captures the universe, it does that. If you're a Battlefront fan, I think you'll be pleased too. A lot of people have been putting on their nostalgia glasses, talking about how, oh my god, there's no campaign and they're taking this and they're ruining this. Like, if you actually pay attention, this is kind of like original Battlefront. Original Battlefront didn't really have a campaign. They had missions that you went on that were based around the multiplayer matches, things like this. And this seems to be the same, although I'm not sure how much depth is to this, because this being a beta, they only give you a small slice. Now, let me say this right now, so a lot of you are going to sit and complain about how, like, it's not that long, it's not a lot to do, this game has no depth. Remember, this is a beta. 2, not this full game. 3, it's a beta. It's not supposed to give you everything in one shot. What they're doing is they're doing tests. They're doing server tests. They're seeing how functionality works within the game for people who are connected online. Now, if you actually went and looked through the menus, you'll notice that there's more than what you get. You get Drop Zone and Walker Assault to play multiplayer wise. For the mission set, you get Survival. It's a single or cooperative mode. Now, as far as everything else that goes, it's going to be at least 7 multiplayer modes, as we can see on the menus. I'm going to assume that this menu is accurate for the final game. So you will get Drop Zone, Walker, Assault, Supremacy, Fighter Squadron, Blast, Cargo, and Droid Run. And then for the missions, you're going to get a training session, battles, where either you fight against friends or you fight against AI. And that's kind of similar to what they had you do in the first Battlefront. In the second Battlefront, they decided to meld like story into it by putting a narrative to the different battles before you went into the battles, so that you would have somewhat of a campaign. And then you have survival. So 9 game modes if you include training, I should say, because I don't really consider that a game mode, but you have 9 game modes to go through. So that's pretty cool. That's a good helping. Of course, there's going to be customization. There's collectibles that you can get and all of that. A lot of this stuff is not unlocked because this is a beta, but that seems to be what they're going to be offering in the final product. Now, as far as the gameplay goes for this beta, it's fun. It's really, really fun. I really enjoyed myself playing with a couple of people who follow me on Twitch and subscribe to me on YouTube. Shout outs to Bubba. Shout outs to Dormill. Had fun with you guys. Plan on doing it again sometime this weekend. But it's fun. The feel of the guns is crazy. It feels right for the medium. The sound of the game is just totally ridiculous. Ridiculously good sound quality all over the place. I mean, they've done a great job of using the sounds from the Star Wars universe. The call-outs, I love like the voice acting too. The voice acting fits, it adds to the chaos, especially in Walker Assault. Walker Assault is just like a crazy, ridiculous fun mode to play because it's just all types of stuff going around. 20 versus 20 ain't bad, people. I know some people complain like, oh, these are the people who made Battlefield. Why isn't it 32 versus 32? And I guess the answer to that is because this is not Battlefield. This is a different game. But we'll get to the Battlefield thing too in a bit. The vehicles are cool when you use them. It's so empowering to get into an AT-ST or just be able to fire an AT-AT. One of the things I've noticed is that these things are pretty much destructible. Now the AT-AT is extremely hard to beat, but it is beat. There seems to be a counter for just about everything in here. Like jetpacks, a lot of people probably feared that. I feared the jetpacks was going to be a cheaper tactic, and in some cases people who know how to use it can get the drop on you and get you, but it shoots you in such a wild way and at a fast pace and at a huge distance where it kind of leaves you a bit disorientated. So you definitely do have to like have a mastery of it. So not everybody can just use that to jump all over the place and kill people. You can take out those people with the jetpacks. You can take out the AT-STs. Now, the AT-AT it's interesting, and this is going to be a part of what I think could be something that people will find a problem for the game. So let me finish up my positives. I love the maps. The design is very well done. It flows very well. The revive system is awesome. I love that you have no wait for respawning. You can just jump back into the action if you want, or you want to take a little moment to like settle yourself. You can, but as soon as you hit that like button, you're back in the game like that. It's just like really, really quick. The pace is like great. It's solid all the way around. Now, problems. Like I was saying about Walker Assault, a lot of people have complained, about being the rebels. Now, when you're the Empire, you have a tremendous wealth of firepower. You have the vehicles, the AT-ST. The AT-ATs are, walking towards their target, and your goal is to pretty much protect them and keep the rebels from taking those out. The rebels, of course, they don't have any vehicles. They have their manpower. Well, they do have vehicles. They have the flight vehicles. Each side has airships. But there's no land units for the rebels. This is pretty much a recreation of the Battle of Hoth from Empire Strikes Back. And I know a lot of people are going to complain, this is a video game. Why are you doing something that's canon in a game? But you have to realize that Disney is just as protective of this property as George Lucas was. And they want this to feel authentic. They want this to feel like the Star Wars universe. And D.I.C.E has done a pretty good job of making it feel like it. That being said, this is what you're going to get in Walker Assault. Now, is it impossible for Rebels to win? No. You can win. And there are clear-cut ways to win. I think for a Star Wars fan, it's obvious. For someone who's not, it may not be that obvious. And that way, I can see why you would have your anger. That being said, regardless of whether you know or not, the biggest problem is when you're playing the Rebels, it's required teamwork. And we know how people are in today's first-person shooter world. Individual run and gun stats is what matters most to a lot of people. Playing as a coordinated team is something hard to do. This is why a lot of games that have coordination, things like that, tend to fail in this generation because people don't really want to work together, sadly. So if you want to know how to beat the thing, what you need to do is you need to keep those uplinks up. That's the first thing. Keep the uplinks up. You can get the bombers to come in and set up the AT-ATs to take up tremendous damage. We almost won once because we got both AT-ATs around 60%. The problem was it was just pretty much us, my people working more together. It was only a couple of us. And then there was a couple of other people who seemed to have gotten it well. But out of the group of 20, it may have been 6 or 7 of us doing that. So had it been a more coordinated effort, yeah, we would have took them down. Also, there's an easier way. If you get a speeder, as a rebel, you need to take those speeders and go directly at the AT-ATs. You need to again, coordination. Any other air units need to cover you. Because what the speeder do is exactly what you did in the movies. You hit the AT-AT with the tow cable, and you circle the legs a few rotations until it's ready to detach. And you tie up the legs. I've seen someone take it down. Someone figured it out right at the end, but it was too late. We're dead. But mostly what I see is people getting those speeders and they just want to fly and shoot stuff. That's all. They don't think about yo, this is the equalizer to the match. This is what will win the match for you. So yeah, I understand the frustration with the rebel side of the assault, but it is not impossible to win. Servers were full. EA did send out a message saying that they were going to add some for the beta. I guess they didn't expect that many people to want to be on this beta, but servers were constantly full, so that was an issue. There's a small hang up sometimes, if you back out of a match, you'll get stuck in the loading menu and you'd have to crash it and turn it back on. But again, this is a beta, so I guess you should expect those kind of glitches. But that was pretty much it for the negatives. It really wasn't a lot of negatives so far that I've seen. Now, I guess the other negative would be that it's very short. You only can level up to level 5. There's 4 guns you can unlock, 11 things that are called cards. They're boosts that you can burn. You can get a special grenade, special gun, stuff like that. And there's only the 3 maps for the 3 different modes, one for each game mode that they allow you. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to complain about, oh, this is so thin. Again, guys, it's a beta. They're not going to show you everything, but that's pretty much it. So that's my 14.5-minute impression of the Star Wars beta so far. It's a lot of fun, but I want to hear what you guys think, so please let me know in the comments. All right, y'all. As always, hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Megas, and I'm out. Deuces.